What's going on, everybody? It's Stas here. So the stock market was all over the place today, guys. S&P 500 up 16 points, up 0.5%. The Dow Jones up 113 points, up 0.4%. And the NASDAQ 100 was also up 0.4%, up about 45 points on the day. And in this video, we're going to be talking more about the stock market, breaking down some technicals, going over a bunch of stocks here that I'm watching and looking to buy right now. And I also want to share with you guys some earnings reports. We're going to talk about Procter & Gamble, Netflix, and Snapchat, and in general, what I'm personally doing right now in the markets. What stocks am I holding? What moves did I make today? And I also want to share with you guys my mindset. Where's my head at right now as a trader, as an investor in the current stock market? So a lot to talk about. If you guys find value, hit the like button, make sure to subscribe, and check out the Strive Smart Discord chat and Facebook group down below. Those are free to join, and you can also get 2 free stocks from WeBull valued up to $1,600. All you have to do is deposit $100, and those 2 free stocks are yours. So without further ado, let's get right into it, guys. And if you guys watched my video yesterday, we called this out. We talked about how the markets were most likely, and of course nothing is definite, but we talked about how the markets were likely to see some sort of relief rally, right? The S&P yesterday on its own was down about 60 points, right? We went from 3,500 all the way down to about 3,420 at the low. So I guess from top to bottom, we lost more than 60 points. We were down about 80 points. And if you guys take a look at the trend, as we hit that lower low, right, at about 3,420, we hit a lower low, right? We hit that point in the downtrend where we're likely to see some sort of pop due to it being oversold, right? And the previous couple of times, we've hit a lower low, we've seen that relief rally, right? We saw it last week multiple times. We saw it when it hit 3,450. It was pretty oversold there. It had a relief rally back up to 3,520. So I figured, hey, we hit that lower low, 3,420, 3,419, whatever you guys want to call it. And I said, guys, watch out for a relief rally, especially if we were able to break 3,440, 3,450. We would likely see some sort of rally from there. And it ended up playing out. Take a look here. If I extend this to the right, you guys can see, especially here on the hourly chart, if I zoom in a bit, we actually broke 3,450 this morning. We filled the gap all the way up to 3,480 pretty much, which is where that 50 SMA is here on the hourly chart, as well as that old resistance. Well, it's still a resistance at about 3,480. So we filled the gap, and now we're seeing a sell-off into the close. So what does this mean, guys? What does this mean? Well, this means the downtrend is still intact, right? We haven't hit a lower low quite yet because we closed above 3,420, which was the lower low from yesterday. We closed at about 3,440, but you guys are seeing we're at a lower high right now. We got rejected at 3,480, right under that 50 SMA, right under that big resistance, and that was a lower high from the previous high we hit, which was on the 16th of October at about 3,510. So what that's telling me is there could be more selling here, guys, especially if we go down and test 3,430 tomorrow, 3,420, whatever. And if we break that, oh man, guys, S&P could be going lower from there, technically speaking, right? And we might be able to fill the gap. I know it sounds crazy, but at the same time, it's not too crazy. We might be able to fill the gap from 3,420 if that support breaks down to about 3,380, which could give the S&P a little bit more downside from here, maybe about 1 to 1.5% downside. So why is the market volatile? Well, it has to do with one word, and that one word is stimulus, guys. And Nancy Pelosi set a deadline back on Sunday, literally 2 days ago. She said 48 hours. If there's going to be a deal before the election, we're going to have to get it done in 48 hours. So let's talk a little bit about that, because at the end of the day, that's mostly the driving factor of the market here in either direction, right? We know how the market is heavily relying on the stimulus. we can see here, well, you can't see it, I can see it in my notes. Speaker Nancy Pelosi said Tuesday that she and Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin are, quote-unquote, on a path to a massive CV relief deal just hours before her self-imposed deadline to come to a broad agreement with the White House. But the California Democrats' biggest obstacle may be across the Capitol, with Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell openly dismissing the negotiations and privately urging the White House not to settle with Pelosi before the election. Pelosi was scheduled to speak to Mnuchin at 3 p.m. Tuesday afternoon as Washington waits to see whether months of negotiation between the two will culminate in a multi-trillion-dollar stimulus plan just 2 weeks before the election or not, guys. And at this point, the negotiation is still going. Do we know whether we're going to get the stimulus before the election, after the election? We don't know. But what we do know for sure, every waking moment that passes by that we don't get stimulus, the chances are getting slimmer and slimmer, right? And like I've been saying on the videos, this is 100% a political play. If I were president, if I were in charge, if I were to be able to pass everything through Congress myself, I would say give the stimulus checks now. America, especially middle America, the businesses are struggling, people are struggling, they need this relief package, and we're just not getting it quite yet, and the market is just hanging by, I don't want to say it's hanging by a thread, but it's kind of teeter-tottering. It's waiting for this, right? And in my opinion, and you guys will most likely agree with me, I mean, it makes sense. Once this stimulus gets passed, I think the market is going to go a lot higher. And you could argue, I mean, yeah, stimulus could be already priced into the market here. That's arguable. But in the next couple of months, as we get the stimulus, I think we're just going to trend higher, and that's just my personal opinion. That is why I'm invested in this market. I'm not selling out, taking profits, because I truly believe whether it's 1.8 trillion, 2.2 trillion, 2 trillion, whatever the package is, I believe once we get it, the market is going to gradually go higher, because as money is printed, the dollar goes down, it loses value, it pushes up asset prices such as stocks, real estate, gold, silver, and that's just how it works, guys. So watch out for stimulus. And again, this is not a stimulus channel. Go watch Meet Kevin. Go watch whoever else who covers it and makes 50 videos a day. That's not me, guys. I'm a stock market channel, and you guys know that. So overall market is teeter-tottering. S&P up 16 points. Dow Jones up 113 points. And you guys can see the same technicals playing out. I mean, if we zoom in a bit, Dow Jones got rejected. Excuse me, guys, at a lower high today on this hourly chart, right at that 50 simple moving average. This is not too good for the bulls, right? But one thing that is decent for the bulls, you could argue, is the Dow Jones hasn't broken 28,200, right? We held that on the 15th of this month, on the 19th of this month as well, and today too. So if we're able to somehow break out of this 50 SMA on the hourly chart, that would be fantastic for the bulls, right? But if we get more turmoil amongst stimulus, and again, every waking moment that goes by, the chances get slimmer, and the Dow Jones ends up taking out 28,200 on the bottom side, that is going to really lead, in my opinion, to another gap down. And let's take a look on the 4-hour. I mean, where could the Dow Jones go to if 28,200 breaks? I'm thinking it might be able to go down. Let's take a look here. And I know there's a lot of trend lines here, guys. It might be a bit confusing, but bear with me. If 28,200 breaks, this 50 SMA on the 4-hour breaks, we might be going to 28,000 flat, right around this old resistance at the end of September, beginning of October. And that gives it about another 200 to 300 points downside from here, which is not too crazy. I mean, that's about less than 1%, but still, that is the gap on the downside that, in my opinion, could fill, and that would be the continuation of the downtrend, as that would be a lower low. And when it comes down to the excuse me, guys, geez, my throat again. When it comes down to the NASDAQ here is showing a lot of the same, right? You guys can see very clearly we ended up trying to break out of that 50 SMA on the 30-minute chart, but we failed right at the lows. Well, not the lows, but right at our resistance from yesterday at about 11,700, and from last week, an old support at about 11,700. So the fact that we got rejected there, lower high, and we ended up closing on a downswing, that's not too good for the bulls. And I'm telling you guys, if 11,500 breaks, which honestly, I don't know if it's going to break. Nobody knows, but you know, if 11,500 breaks, that's going to be very bad for the NASDAQ 100, technically speaking, right? Because, and we've talked about this before, you know, it was overbought at 12,200, and I was saying, hey, 11,500 is likely to go to, it's likely to go there. And if we break that, and I don't know if we are, I mean, we're already seeing a good sell-off in the market here. It really just depends on stimulus, guys. If we get the stimulus tomorrow, this is going to go crazy, and we're not going to go under 11,500 in my opinion. But if 11,500 holds, or doesn't hold rather, there's a decent downside gap fill to go. I mean, we might be going down to 11,250, maybe down, I'd say 11,250. That would be the next area that I'm looking to go to for the NASDAQ 100. And if that breaks, maybe 11,000 flats. So overall, guys, don't get too excited if you're a bull here, because the downtrend is still intact, at least in the short term. And with stimulus hanging, we don't know what's going to happen, whether we get it tomorrow, after the election. In the short term, it's going to remain volatile, and we just have to be careful and very, I want to say, diligent. And also, we shouldn't jump at every little opportunity. I mean, unless it's a golden opportunity based on your criteria, right? We have to be very careful in these markets. So let me know down below in the comments, guys, what are you thinking about this stimulus, the markets in general? Are you buying? Are you selling? Let me know down below in the comments. So what did I personally do today? I ended up day trading Virgin Galactic. And if you guys were in the Discord chat, which I highly recommend you join, link down below. It's free of charge to join. We have about 3,000 people in there. If you guys were in the Discord chat, I called this out before it happened, right? On this intraday chart, we can see a little bull flag here on Virgin Galactic. We saw a massive rally this morning from 22.80 up to about 23.90, so over $1 pop there, and we started to consolidate into this little, wedge, little, bull flag, whatever you guys want to call it. And we ended up, and I called it out here, and you guys can see the trend line. I literally posted a screenshot in the Discord chat, and I was saying, watch for this break, and we literally took off after I sent it. And like I say in the videos, guys, you can't time everything. It's impossible, but sometimes you do nail the timing, and today was one of those days. So I ended up calling it out. I got in at 23.60. My limit order filled right around here, and I ended up getting out at about $24, exactly $24.10. That's where my limit order on the sell side filled. So from 23.60 to 24.10, the gain there was about 2.3%. So pretty solid there as a day trade. And you guys know at this point, I'm not much of a day trader. I'm much more of a swing trader. So I wait for the perfect setup for me to day trade. And I just saw it today with Virgin Galactic, and I was like, there's momentum here. There's a lot of bullish events coming up, and let me take the trade, right? And that's exactly what I ended up doing. So overall, that's all I did today, and I'm still holding on to my other swing trades. I'm in EA, Electronic Arts, at about $133. This one is going down a bit. It's down 2% today, and I'm down on my position, but overall, I'm not sweating it. I'm still holding on to Electronic Arts, and I'm still in Apple, of course, guys. I'm in at about $115. This one was up 1.3% today. At one point, we got close to $119, which is great. So this one, I'm planning on holding for a good amount of time here, especially if the stimulus, when the stimulus comes through, guys. It's not a question of if, it's when. We know we're getting the stimulus, but we don't know when, right? But when it comes through, I think Apple's going to do very well. As the market in general, assets are going to do well. Like we mentioned earlier, the dollar gets devalued, asset prices go up. So we're going to see Apple do well. I'm holding on at 115, and I'm also in Workhorse, guys, which has, I don't want to say it's a bag hold at this point, because when I got in, I knew I was going to hold for a while, a couple months, but now I'm down a good amount. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm in at about $24. I'm down a good amount. I mean, we're trading in the mid-20s, and this is why you have to lock in profits when you're up, right? Or at least lock in half of the position. I locked in some profits on this run-up last week, whenever that happened. I locked in some profits there, and it's key just to mitigate risk, right? Because imagine if I didn't lock in any profits and we went down to where we are now. I mean, I'd be pretty mad at myself. But the fact that I locked in a little profit, I'm not that mad about being down. I might even consider buying more down here. We'll see, right? And it's getting to that point where it's extremely overbought, or oversold rather. Again, we're down 8% today. We're approaching $20 flat, which is a big old resistance. So we might see some sort of relief rally here in Workhorse, right? We hit that lower low. We might see a fill up to about $22. So watch out tomorrow on Workhorse, maybe from $20 to $22. If you're a day trader, hey, that could be a move when it comes down to Workhorse. So let me know down below, guys, what are your thoughts? As always, what are you guys doing? And again, any thoughts on the markets, just drop them down below in the comments. Now let's talk about some earnings reports. We had Netflix today, Snapchat, and Procter & Gamble are the three that I want to talk about. Netflix, guys, oh my goodness, it got decimated after hours. Take a look here. They had EPS of $1.74, $1.74, versus $2.13 estimated. So they missed pretty badly on EPS, and revenue came in at $6.44 billion versus $6.38 billion estimated. So they beat on revenue, but they missed on EPS, and in my opinion, Wall Street was a bit too bullish on Netflix. They were expecting a little bit too much, and that's what you notice sometimes. When expectations fall short, the stock ends up tanking. I guess you can say it was priced to perfection. Wall Street was estimating perfect numbers here, and it just didn't happen, right? And we're down a good amount after hours. We closed at 525, down now to about 492 after hours. So this goes to show why I don't like trading earnings, guys, because let's say you were extremely bullish on Netflix, you bought call options before earnings, you bought a lot of the stock, and then boom, it goes down $30 after hours. You're going to be holding the bag, right? So at this point, what we can do is maybe play the overreaction potentially. Maybe the oversold stock could be a play, because it is oversold a little bit now, as we did drop 490. RSI's down under 25, so we might be able to play a bounce back here, especially if the overall trend. Let me just remove these drawings, guys. Let me remove all of them so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. If we're able to hold this trend, take a look at what I'm drawing here. Tomorrow, this could end up being some sort of bounce back play, maybe from 490 to about 510. That could be a move there when it comes to Netflix. But again, this goes to show sometimes when a company is priced to perfection, whatever, Wall Street's too bullish, and they end up missing, the stock can sell off massively. So that's what happened with Netflix. Snapchat is another one that we called out yesterday. Oh my goodness. And this is another thing about not trading earnings, which could mess with your emotions a little bit. But if you're more in an advanced trader, if you've been in it for a couple years, you know how to deal with it. But sometimes the stocks go bananas after earnings, and you're like, crap, I should have bought in. But again, it goes both ways. So that's a risky thing about playing with earnings. But when it comes to Snapchat, it had a surprise profit, EPS of 1 cent versus the negative 5 cent estimated. Revenue came in at $678 million versus $550 million. So they beat on EPS and revenue by a nice margin. And quarter 3, this is very impressive in my opinion. Quarter 3 daily active users was 249 million, which is up 18% year over year. And when it comes down to these social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, daily active users is huge. So to see an 18% year over year pop there, surprise profit, and a massive beat on revenue, it makes sense that Snapchat is up 20%, guys. Yes, you hear me right. Over 20% at this point, up after hours. So Snapchat's going bananas. Will I chase it here? Absolutely not. The move has been made. We're overbought. If anything, if I were in Snapchat, I'd be locking profits here. And if we see some sort of cool down, maybe to $30, $32, whatever, we might be able to get in on the dip. But overall, Snapchat, congrats. If you're a long Snapchat, congrats. Absolutely amazing quarter for this company. And another one here, which I think is setting up for a trade, is Procter & Gamble. They had EPS of $1.63 versus $1.41 estimated, which is a nice beat. Revenue came in at $19.32 billion versus $18.35 billion, also a pretty nice beat. And take a look at this. A lot of people are like, Procter & Gamble, come on, man. That's not a good growth company. I'm not calling it a growth company, but a lot of people think there's not growth at all. Well, I beg to differ. Last year in the same quarter, they had $17.8 billion in revenue. And again, this quarter, a year later, it was $19.3 billion. So that's a nice jump there. And they're also having a lot of price target increases. Let's take a look at those from different companies. They're seeing, a price target increase to $160 I was looking at before. One knew about $150. I'm trying to find it here on the live news tab, but take my word for it, guys. I saw a bunch of price increases here for Procter & Gamble, and we're also seeing a buyback program. They're buying back their stock. They're planning on to, at least in 2021. I think it was around $6 to $8 billion. Let me look here. There's a lot of live news for Procter & Gamble, but yeah, look into that, guys. Buying back their stock. Oh, here it is, guys. 20 stocks to help you. Actually, no, that's wrong. That's wrong, guys. But either way, they're looking to do a buyback. Revenue's nicely growing over the past year. EPS beat. Revenue for this quarter beat, and the stock's down about $3-4 off its highs. And yeah, you could argue that's not much of a dip, guys. It might not be the best place to put your money right now if you're looking to swing trade or long-term invest, whatever. But if we're able to get to 138, 140, this could be an opportunity, right? This could be an opportunity to get in my opinion. You just have to judge it on your own. As with all the stocks on the channel that I talk about, guys, I'm not a financial advisor. You must do your own due diligence. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. What do you guys think about these earnings? Now let's bang out some other stocks that I'm looking to buy right now. Boeing is doing pretty well. I don't want to say they're doing well fundamentally, but technically here, they're not doing too shabby. We're fighting with 170 over the past couple of weeks here in trading weeks. At about 170, we failed multiple times, and I think the opportunity with Boeing is if we get above 170, guys. If 170 is able to break on the 4-hour chart, you guys can see here, there could be an opportunity up to 180, 185. And mind you, they are reporting earnings on the 28th, which is about 8 days from the time that I'm filming this video. Exactly 8 days. So take that into account. But in the short term, if 170 breaks, this could be a breakout. Maybe up again to 180, 185. So I'm watching that resistance here. And another one is Zoom. And Zoom, guys, I'm scared of it. Not saying it's a bad investment, a bad stock, whatever, but I'm scared a little bit with how much it's ran from $80 to almost $600 now in the 6-month time frame. That's unbelievable. And in a post-CV world where people slowly go back to work, and obviously, there's going to be a lot of work from home still, but as people go back to work, I don't know what that's going to look like for Zoom. So as a long-term investment, I'm a bit nervous with it. But as a swing trade, there could be potential. I mean, we saw a big pull down today, about 5.5%. We're down about $50 from the all-time high here, from 588 down to about 537. That's about an 8% window of profit. So hey, if we hold this 50 SMA on the 4-hour chart, we get a high or low entry point. This could end up being a momentum play, no doubt about it. Ticker symbol ZM. So although the long term is, I don't want to say it's questionable. People might get mad if I say that, but it is a little bit, right? Although the long term is a little bit questionable, in the short term, there's definitely still some momentum in my opinion. And airlines, guys, they're very worth watching right now. AAL, they're reporting earnings, American Airlines, on the 22nd, which is tomorrow, actually 2 days from now. And there's a big resistance coming up, $13, $13.50. I think if we break that point and we get some stimulus package that could help out airlines, I can see AAL go up a ton. I mean, we've seen it go up 30% in a day before. I mean, take a look. This day right here back in June, it went from $11, and then then the next day it was at $22. I mean, I'm not making this up, guys. Literally in one day it doubled in price. That's 100%. That is insanity. So if we get some sort of stimulus, decent earnings, decent guidance here, we might see AAL go bananas. Maybe from $13 if that breaks up to, let's say, $16, $17. So I'm watching AAL here. A bunch of other airlines as well. Spirit Airlines, they're reporting earnings. LUV, Southwest, they're also reporting earnings on the 22nd. So watch out for the airlines. Boeing, they kind of go hand in hand, kind of. So I'm watching those very heavily. And I'm also watching Sunrun, ticker symbol RUN. This is very beaten down from $82 to $62. It seems like we are holding 60, 62 as a support, which is a big support considering this 4-hour chart over the past couple of weeks. So watch Run. I like it, although it is not really showing a full-on breakout to the upside. And if $60 breaks, we could see more downside, which is a bit worrisome here. But yeah, I'm just going to watch it regardless and just keep an eye on it, because overall I think there is potential back up to the 70s here with Sunrun, and same thing with Fastly, right? Fastly, I've been getting a bunch of questions on. FSLY, this one is beaten down. It's down about $50 from its high here, and we could go down more, maybe 77, $80. But quite honestly, guys, I don't see it getting much lower than that. So Fastly's beaten down, Run's beaten down. DKNG is another one that's beaten down that I'm watching. So in terms of oversold stocks, DKNG, Run, and what's the other one, guys? I just said it, guys. DKNG, Run, and oh my goodness, I'm losing my mind. What did I just say? You guys heard what I said. Those three are beaten down, and they could see a potential rally here. And I'm also watching Facebook, ticker symbol FB. They're reporting earnings on the 29th. Big day for Facebook today, up 2%, up even after hours. I have to look into that. Why is it up after hours? I should have ended up putting some notes here. That's my bad. But overall, we're seeing a big pop on Facebook. Okay, we have a buy rating, an outperform rating, some price target increases. So that could be one of the catalysts here. But overall, 280 is a big resistance. If we break that, we could be going higher on Facebook. So it's getting that momentum building. It's building that momentum back in its favor, which I personally like. And DPHC, guys, Lordstown Motors, a lot of people were asking me about this one, down 12%. And you guys have to realize a lot of these SPACs, as they get closer to the merger date, to the date where they're going to switch, and this one's going to go from DPHC to RIDE, RIDE, a lot of the time they sell off into the merger. So maybe that's what we're seeing here. We took out a big level of support at about $20. That's not looking too good. Quite honestly, we hit a lower low here in the downtrend. But like I said with Workhorse, which is seeing a lot of the same technicals, we might see a relief rally in DPHC from $19, maybe up to $22, $21. And a lot of people get scared of weakness. But the truth is, in the weakness, that is where the opportunity lies at the end of the day. So if you're interested, not saying that you should buy it, but if you're interested in companies that are beaten down, that is when you should be buying at the end of the day. And another one here is SRAC, also known as Momentus. Momentus did well today, guys. It was up over $11 today, pulled back down, and it's holding the uptrend at about 1070. And this could be a dip buy from 1070 to about $11. That's about 2.5% potential. So watch out for SRAC here and all of those other stocks that we just mentioned. So I'm going to wrap it up here, guys. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Let me know all your thoughts down below in the comments. And don't forget to join the Discord chat, the Facebook group. They're free of charge. And claim your 2 free stocks from WeBull, valued up to $1,600. All you have to do is deposit $100, and you get 2 free stocks. And I also get 2 free stocks since it is an affiliate link. So thanks for watching, guys. As always, stay safe out there. Keep crushing the markets. Peace out.